Did you know the average price of a new vehicle in the US just topped $50,000 for the first time ever? And nearly 20% of new car buyers are now committing to $1,000 or more in monthly payments. Now, most people think they're making smart car choices. They tell themselves, I can afford it, and it's just a payment. But here's the reality. For many, that car becomes a financial treadmill, a shiny trap that they just can't see. A friend of mine, let's call him John, thought he was making the smartest car decision. He financed a $40,000 car because it seemed responsible at the time. At first, he really loved it. The new car smell, the compliments, the feeling of success. But a year later, he realized that he wasn't working harder for freedom or progress. He was actually working harder for his payments. Almost everyone makes the same mistake, chasing what feels like progress but is quietly draining their future. So by the end of this video, I'll show you why and the one choice that most people overlook that actually sets you free. So today we're going to break down the 4 ways people buy cars: leasing, financing, paying cash for a new car, or paying cash for a slightly used car. By the end, you'll see which one keeps money in your pocket, but why everyone ignores it and the psychology behind that mistake. First is leasing a new car. Leasing is very popular. Low monthly payments, new car every few years, warranties. Sounds very smart, right? But here's a catch. You never actually own the car. You're paying for the right to borrow a rapidly depreciating asset. You're locked in perpetual payments, a new car every 2 to 3 years, and the cycle repeats. It's like renting life on subscription, but the renewal fee never actually ends. Leasing gives you that temporary status and convenience, but it erodes your wealth quietly. Second is financing a new car or a used car. Now, financing feels like ownership, but it's really just debt ownership. You'll eventually own the car, yes, but at the end, the bank controls your asset. Meanwhile, your car is losing value faster than you're paying it off. The average new car loses about 20% in the first year and about 60% in 4 to 5 years. The average loan term is around 6 years right now. So eventually, most people end up paying interest on something that is worth far less than they actually owe. Here's what most people don't know. Dealerships don't want you to pay cash. Why? Because while car sales make up the most of their revenue, they account for less than a quarter of gross profit. And financing and insurance products, they generate 30 to 40% of the dealer profit, even though they're a small share of the actual sale. So when you pay cash, you bypass those lucrative streams that the dealers depend on. Now, dealers push financing not because it's good for you, but because it's good for them. Third is paying cash for a new car. Now, this is powerful. No monthly payments, no interest, no debt. You own it immediately, but here's the downside. There's a lot of depreciation. A new car loses 20 to 30% of its value in the first year. It's free from debt, yes, but the car is still a money-losing asset. The fourth option is the one most people overlook. This is paying cash for a slightly used car. Why? Because most of the steep depreciation has already happened. You get a newish car that holds its value a lot better. Here's a rule of thumb. Never spend more than half of your annual income on a car. That means if you make $60,000, your car shouldn't cost more than $30,000. This ensures that your biggest asset isn't losing money each and every day. Now let's look at what really happens when you run the numbers, because the numbers don't lie, but marketing often does. Let's take a look at a $35,000 car and see what each option actually cost you over 6 years, which is about how long most people are financing their car these days. Option 1 is lease. The average lease payments for this car would be around $591 a month for 36 months. That's roughly $21,000 over 3 years. And since most people upgrade after that, you'll lease again, bringing your total to about $42,000 over 6 years. And here's the thing. You'll have nothing to show for it when it's all said and done. Leasing might feel like fun in the moment. New car smell, new model, but it's easily the most expensive way to operate a vehicle long term. The second option is to finance. If you finance the same car for 84 months at 5% interest, you're looking at a payment of roughly around $493 a month. Now, over 6 years, that's about $41,000. Now, after 6 years, your car will likely be worth 40% of its original value, so about $14,000. That means your real cost, what you actually lost, is roughly around $27,000. Third option is to buy new with cash. Let's say you skip the loan and pay $35,000 in cash up front. After 6 years, the car is still worth about $14,000, so your total out-of-pocket cost is around $21,000. Now, you saved yourself roughly $6,000 compared to financing, and you had zero debt, zero interest, and zero risk of repossession. Fourth option is to buy used with cash. Now, here's a move that most people overlook. Buy the same model, but 2 to 4 years older. That same car might now cost around $18,000, about half of what it costs new. At this point, most of the depreciation is already behind you. Over the next 6 years, it might only lose an additional 30% of its value, which means that at that time, it's still worth around $10,000. So your total loss or true out-of-pocket expense is about $8,000. So let's recap. Lease equals about $42,000 spent. You own nothing. Financing is about $27,000 lost. Buy new cash is about $21,000 lost. And then buy used cash is about $8,000 lost. This is the same type of car, same 6 years, but completely different outcomes. That's not just saving money. That's saving years of financial stress. While everyone else is feeling rich, the used buyer quietly stays rich. Now, some of you might already be thinking, but I can finance and invest the difference, or leasing keeps me in a new car every few years, or I just like the flexibility of payments. So let's tackle all of these one by one. First, finance and invest the difference. Yes, mathematically, investing the money you would have spent on a car can grow over time. But in reality, most people never actually do it consistently. And even if they did, the returns are usually very modest, not enough to offset the depreciation, interest, and the stress. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water while someone is poking holes in it. Yes, some water collects, but the bucket never really fills the way you think it will. Second, leasing keeps me in a new car. True, you get the new car every 2 to 3 years, but that comes with constant payments, hidden fees, and no ownership. You're trading temporary thrill for long-term financial loss. Third, I like the flexibility of payments. Monthly payments can feel comfortable until life throws a curveball like a job change or unexpected expenses. Owning a car outright removes that stress and gives you true flexibility, not just the illusion of it. So let's just zoom out for a second. When you look at all 4 options, lease, finance, buy new with cash, or buy used with cash, the numbers tell you the truth that most people just don't want to face. Leasing drains you the fastest. You're paying for the privilege to borrow status. And financing looks smarter on paper until you realize that half of every payment goes to interest. And buying new with cash saves you thousands initially, but you still eat the heaviest depreciation. And buying used with cash, the car that's just 2 to 4 years older, quietly wins. You keep your freedom. Your insurance is cheaper, and most of the depreciation storm has already passed. But here's the real reason this matters. We live in a microwave culture. We want everything now. And that's why the idea of wait, save, and own feels, quite frankly, very boring. Sometimes the urge to lease or finance isn't really about transportation. It's really about validation. We want people to see us a certain way, to feel like we've made it. That's totally normal. Every human wants approval. But here's the thing. You don't need to leverage your financial future to feel worthy. There's an easier, deeper way to feel that same sense of pride, like by investing in things that actually grow you, like your skills, your experience, and your relationships. Those give you the admiration that lasts instead of just a dopamine hit that fades when the new car smell disappears. Because here's what no spreadsheet can show you. The peace of mind that comes from knowing that you own something outright. When you buy a car with cash, you don't just save money, you buy silence. No debt hanging over your head, no monthly anxiety, just calm. It's like walking out of a storm and realizing just how loud the rain was. You don't notice the noise until it's gone. And suddenly, everything feels just lighter. People love to say you should finance and invest the rest, but very few actually do it. And even if they did, the few extra percent in returns won't change your life. But the mental clarity from not owing anyone, that changes everything. At the end of the day, this isn't about cars. It's about freedom. Freedom to make choices from peace, not pressure. Freedom to live a life that's not leased or financed, but fully yours. So, hey, if this video gave you even one light bulb moment, the moment where you thought, wait, why am I spending like that? That's a sign that you're waking up financially. And that's what this channel is about, helping you see money differently. Not through hype, not through spreadsheets, but through clarity. Because once you understand how money really works, you stop chasing status and you start building freedom. So if you want more videos like this where I break down everyday financial decisions and expose the psychology behind them, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Until then, drive smart, live free, and remember, the best car is the one that isn't driving you. Thanks for watching.